And I guess the strange thing about it is that most go unreported, even though there are over millions of foodborne illnesses cases per year. But those who have been reported have taught us a lot, and given us a lot of insights about what we can do to change the procedural practices and what we can do to prevent further outbreaks from happening. So what are the challenges to ensure food safety? Well, there's time, pressure to work quickly is a big one. Language and culture, literacy and education, pathogens, unapproved suppliers, high-risk population, and staff turnover. The cost of foodborne illness in the United States, basically I think costs them billions of dollars each year. The National Restaurant Association show that foodborne illness outbreaks can cost operations thousands of dollars by loss of customer sales, loss of reputation, negative media exposure, lower staff morale, lawsuits and legal fees, staff missing work, increased insurance premium, and staff retraining. So we can see food safety is super, super important to the success of any food industry business.
Even be at home.
Because if you have a case where a child dies from a restaurant, you might go out of business. I mean, it's a very good possibility. And the most important cost is always the human life involved in the illness. Our priority needs to be protecting people. Because we don't want people we don't want to push them into very expensive medical costs. And death and disability, we don't want to push on anyone. So practicing our foodborne illness safety procedures can prevent all of this from happening. So how do these foodborne illnesses occur? Well, they're usually caused by contaminants, presence of harmful substances. They can be biological. These are from pathogens, which are the biggest threat to food safety. They are viruses, parasites, fungi, bacteria, even some plants, mushrooms, and seafood carry harmful toxins and are also included in this. There are also chemicals, which include cleaners, sanitizers, and polishers, and they're also physical, which can be glass, dirt, bacteria, even fish flates, which can further lead to biological contaminants. And even though all three of these are a danger to food safety, biological contaminants are the most responsible for the foodborne illnesses linked to the environment. So how does food become safe? There are 5 common food handling mistakes that I have seen from personally working within the food industry. Purchasing food from unsafe conditions. This can be, your neighbor just down the road. If they are not cooking in vegetable kitchen, following food safety procedures, it's questionable, whether the food is safe. Failing to cook food correctly, holding food in incorrect temperatures, using contaminated equipment, practicing poor personal hygiene. And the time-temperature abuse is a major one. It's actually cause very, very severe illnesses and death if especially meats are not cooked all the time. Food which means that food is not cold or stored at correct temperature. Failing to cook food correctly. Holding, that's just like a big deal. Food is not cooked or heated enough to cook pathogens. Food is not cooled correctly. Cross-contamination happens when pathogens are transferred from one source of food to another.
With a teacher.
And it causes foodborne illnesses in many ways. Contaminated ingredients are added to food that receives ready-to-eat food touches contaminated surface. Contaminated food touches or drips food onto cooked or ready-to-eat food. A food handler touches contaminated food and then touches ready-to-eat food. Contaminated cleaning cloths touch food contact surfaces. Poor personal hygiene has a lot of food illnesses. Procedures. These actions include fail to wash hands correctly. Correctly is a keyword there. There is a proper procedure to wash hands. After restroom usage, cough or sneeze on food, touch or scratch wounds and then touch food, or work while down. be spread to food if poor cleaning and sanitizing procedures are in place. This can happen in the following ways. Wash, rinse, and sanitize between use. Food contact surfaces are wiped clean. Rather than wash, rinse, and sanitize, wiping flaws, storing and sanitizer solutions between uses. Sanitizing solutions are not at the required levels to sanitize objects. And also let's go over a few TCS foods. These are time temperature control for safety. These are foods most likely to become unsafe for consumption if they are not kept within their time temperature control limits. And don't get them confused with like fresh produce. So I've seen test questions how make you want to choose between a TCS food and like a strawberry. These are a little bit different than ready-to-eat foods. We have dairy and eggs, meat products, chicken, fish, shellfish, and crustaceans, baked potatoes, heat-treated plant foods such as cooked rice, beans, and vegetables, tofu or other soy protein, and this can include synthetic ingredients such as textured soy protein and meat alternatives, sliced melons, cut tomatoes, cut leafy greens, sprouts and sprout seeds. The reason why this one is a red flag because these require a moist, warm environment in order to grow. And also untreated garlic and oil mixtures. Now, ready-to-eat foods are foods that can be eaten without further preparation, washing, or cooking, such as even sugar, spices, and seasonings are another example of ready-to-eat foods, and also veggies and plants that are ready to eat, and deli meats. Who exactly is considered at high risk for foodborne illnesses? These are elderly people due to the low stomach acid production, and food seems to sit in your stomach a lot longer if you have lower stomach acid production. This allows fermentation and toxins to be released in a lot higher concentrations due to longer sitting time. This also includes preschool age children who don't really have very strong immune systems. This also includes people with compromised immune systems such as chemotherapy patients, HIV and AIDS, and transplant patients. Because people who have transplant procedures must take medications to prevent the body from rejecting the new organ or bone marrow. Here's some key practices for ensuring food safety like a boss. If you follow these practices, you are a superhero to the general public and people around you. Buy from reputable suppliers, follow time temp control procedures, prevent cross-contamination, show great personal hygiene, and always clean and sanitize. If you are the manager, food safety is ultimately your responsibility. Make sure the food is not prepared in a private home or in a room where people are living or sleeping. People other than food handlers are restricted from prep, storage, and dishwashing areas. If other people are allowed in these areas, steps are taken to protect food, utensils, and equipment from contamination. Maintenance and delivery workers must follow food safety practices while in operation. The inspection of deliveries, and then hand washing must be monitored. The inspection of deliveries must be monitored to ensure that food is received from an appropriate approved source, the correct temperature, and has not been contaminated. And food delivery after hours must be monitored to make sure it is received from an approved source, stored in the correct location, protected from contamination, and is accurately presented. Food handlers are monitored to make sure TCS foods are cooked to required temperatures with calibrated thermometers. And food handlers are also responsible for monitoring to make sure that TCS foods are cooked. Consumer advisories are posted notifying guests of the risk of ordering raw or partially cooked food. Cleaning and sanitizing procedures are monitored to make sure that sanitizer solutions are at the correct temperature and the concentration and remain in contact with the item for the correct amount of time. You also must notify the guests when they must use clean tableware when returning to self-serve areas in buffets. And also when staff are handling ready to eat foods, make sure they're using appropriate utensils or single-use gloves. Make sure the staff are trained in food safety, including allergy awareness. Also, the staff, including conditional staff, are reporting illnesses and symptoms of illnesses that can be transmitted through food. This is even like the common cold. If you're sick, don't go to work. Also, have the food safety procedures printed out, implemented, and maintained where required by the regulatory authority. So as a food service manager, you've got to be proud of your food safety. Be open to market it. Offer training courses, evaluate, and update them as needed.
Miss Chaplin!
Be open to setting food safety expectations. Document food handling procedures and update them as needed. Consider awarding certificates for training and small rewards for good food safety. And set an example by following all food safety rules.
Nice.
We're a little behind.
His birthday.
Show well-groomed hygiene
Okay.
and actively answer
So,
food safety.
You guys coming in and grabbing chairs
So interview
is okay today, but on a normal basis, I want to get y'all to where y'all would be doing. Y'all come in.
What is considered operate? and,
Follow Chef Cornish.
You know, how helpful it is for us to know. Some of the challenges that operations may face in promoting food safety. Foodborne illness to both the guests and the operation, the 3 types of contaminants. Food handlers who do not
Yeah.
That's why I figured you was behind. I figured that's why you were behind.
Yeah.
So today, everybody, turn this music down a little bit.
We also went over TCS foods and ready to eat foods and those types.
So as you see what's going up on the board, you all
and
have
we
a
also know
schedule.
of the high-risk populations. These will probably
You all have a schedule of assignments that you all have to get done this year, regardless. And so me and Ms. Chaplin are, you all get everything done, be happy, okay? So every day that you all come in, there's a part of Serve Safe that you need to get done, which correlates with your Serve Safe food handlers cards, okay? You guys got to have that, what is it, by November?
I think I'm not certain. If you think it's November?
It might be October. It might be, it's really soon because they want you all to have the handler's card before you all start actually cooking in the class, okay? And then what they want you to do is to have the managerial card by the end of the year, okay?
Do you all know what food handlers is? Yes. Okay.
So that's what we're going to talk about today. We're going to do that for about an hour, give you all a little review, and then you all are going to go back over to the dining room for another lesson over in the dining room. Okay? Any questions? Okay. Who did syllabus? Took their syllabus home to their parents and read over it with their parents.
I did it before I couldn't focus to it first at the beginning.
Okay. I'm going to email you all the syllabus test that goes along with it so that you all can give it with your parents. Now, Ms. Chaplin, are you going to take Michael now, or you want me to hold him and then you grab him?
So he'll be,
Since
it's the only one, so he'll be at least up to date. You can.
Okay. And then in the PM, we'll do the switch thing.
Yes. And I'll
devise
put them all
the
back
times
the same.
for the PM for me because
Revise the times?
Yeah, devise them. Come up because
Okay.
they come in between 12 and 1.
Yeah.
And then we still need to be able to do what we gotta
with
do and then flip flop and
with
still do.
the buses getting on schedule and everything, the buses are bringing them over later, so we might have to kind of be flexible a little bit with the time for the first, for the second week or so.
Hmm?
Get into a routine.
Anybody here hungry? Got some breakfast? You finish, no one good? Thank you. And we're trying to have some of these every morning if we can. And so when you all come in from dining room, so you see how you all did this morning, come in and go that way.
So every time we get here, we go to the dining room.
Yep, go in there, and then by 8:20, you should be on that line. Today is a little later because of what, we had a visitor, and it's day one, but every day by 8:20, 8:21, you all should be in here on the line. Got it, Mike? How's the weekend treat you? What? You box? Really?
I'll be right back.
That's what's up. Where do you box? Do you know a person named Mr. Muhammad, Brother Bernard Muhammad? Might be. Yeah, what does he look like? Okay. Oh, you thinking Muhammad Ali? No, not him. No. He's a young person about my age, but he teaches boxing in the city. Okay.
He was never a teacher? Or like substituted in a teacher, like in school?
He may have.
I think I know. Because I had when I was in Clipper, and there was someone that would help there, he would just like help there. And it was Mr. Mohammed.
May have been. Well, you guys look up here on the board, you see what the chapter of the name of this video is?
Chapter 1 observes a question book, 7th edition.
Whoa, 7th edition. Wonder what district gave us the 6th edition. But that's what we got. So we're one edition behind where they are on the board. But I can almost guarantee you that the information is the same. So somebody said they didn't know what a serve safe food handler's card was, didn't they? Well, let's read it. Turn the page. Lowercase 3i. It's going to be about only 3 pages in. Roman numeral. There you go, right there. Mm-hmm.
Oh, it's in the top. Oh.
Mm-hmm. Okay. Fernandez, go ahead and read that.
Right here, right?
Mm-hmm.
The message from the National Restaurant Association. Congratulations by opening this.
Let's turn this down. And then you got to read so that the people next door can hear you. There you go.
Congratulations. By opening this book, you are joining millions of food services professionals in taking the first step in commitment food service professionals and taking the first step in a commitment to food safety. Surface trading helps you understand all of the food safety risks faced by your operation. Once you're aware of these risks, you can find ways to reduce them. This will help you keep your operation, your staff, and your customers safe. Created by food service industry leaders, You can be confident knowing the Surface program was created by leaders in the food service industry. The topics you will learn in the book were determined by those who deal with the same food safety issues you face every day. From the basics of hand washing to more complex topics such as foodborne
Mm-hmm.
uh, pathogens.
Mm-hmm.
Your industry peers have provided you with the building blocks to keep food safe throughout your operation. Performance reinforced by you. Food safety doesn't stop once you've completed your training and certification. It is now your responsibility to take the knowledge you learned and share it with your staff. When you return to your operation, start by answering the following questions to assess your food handler on training. Do you have food safety training programs for both new and current staff? Do you have assess do you have assessment tools to identify staff's food safety knowledge? Do you keep record, records documenting that
Stop.
staff have
Mm-hmm.
completed training
Yeah.
about your certification? So you
Mm-mm.
said,
Stop.
oh,
Very good. Very good. So, tell me, Elise, what you learned from her reading.
um, like the, the food safety and food service.
Mm-hmm. Michael, what did you learn?
Um, just gonna ask you some questions.
Okay. And those questions are designed to do what?
So, train.
Mm-hmm. Help get trained. So, when you guys want to bake, right? I keep this in my wallet like I do my driver's license.
So it's like a license.
Mm-hmm. I go into any restaurant and say, I want a job. Are you hiring? We are, but we need somebody who serves. Say, bake. Oh, okay. Well, come on in. And now let's play it the other way. Hey, I'm looking for a job. Well, you got serve safe training? No. Well, I got work. You can probably take the trash out for me and wash the dishes for me and stuff. Can't pay you a regular wage. I can pay you under the table. All different things change when you have your license. Okay, so that's another reason why you want to be certified. But that's why we're taking you through this stuff, Miss. What's her name? Miss Snyder. We're YouTube live too, just so y'all know. Um, Miss Snyder just took her class, and somebody in her class was working in a location, and they had their serve safe certification, and they bumped them up to a different position because they had that, and somebody else didn't. So it's another good reason why you all have to pay really close attention to what's going on here on this lesson. So let's go through the first. Turn back one page in your book, and you see what chapter 1 is about. Okay, providing safe food, foodborne illness, how foodborne illness occurs, and keeping food safe. There's no reason for us to go out and buy food, and you all don't know how to keep it, and how to clean it, and how to keep it from being um, hazardous to everyone's health. So once you all learn how to do that, I'll put an order in, we'll go get some food, we can start baking. I got some stuff here too. All right, so let's turn to chapter 1. And it should be on page 1.1. Okay. So I also have some stuff on the computer that we're going to go with as we go through this chapter. But let's go ahead and read. You can prevent this. Elise, read right there where it says in the blue.
Up here, where it says dozens,
Yeah.
dozens of people became sick at a small calf. Right.
Yeah.
Customer who ate at the calf famous baked potato salads called the complaint of
Nausea.
huh?
Nausea.
Of nausea and vomiting. These coughs began within 2 days after eating the dish. They eventually also experienced double vision and difficulty in speaking and swallowing. Investigated, they found the baked potatoes and salad were the source of the outbreak. The potatoes had been wrapped in aluminum foil when they were baked. They were left on a pre-table overnight
Right.
prep table overnight to cool. Ultimately, the potatoes were left at the room temperature for also 18 hours before they were used in the salad. Bacteria on the potatoes had the correct condition for growth. These conditions included time, temperature, and a lack of oxygen provided by the potatoes foil wrapping.
Mm, mm. You hear that, Mike? That's a simple way people get sick, isn't it? And how many times do we just leave food out on the counter at home and then go back and grab a bite of it?
A lot.
So, do you think that there's bacteria on there when you do it?
Only if you do it like for a second, it don't matter. There's still be bacteria.
Okay, so you think it has to do with the time?
Uh-huh.
Okay, what about you, Hernandez?
Yeah, maybe time to.
Okay, what about you, Mike?
Maybe different type of food. If you like to.
Different foods do different things. Yep. Fish is gonna spoil faster than corn would, correct? Or like they said, potatoes. Okay. Mike, go ahead and read this.
The customers became sick because the cafe didn't know that baked potatoes might contain bacteria. When the staff didn't handle the potato repair, bacteria on the potatoes grew to high levels, preventing food illness like this is one of the most important tasks as a manager. This chapter will introduce you to the following basics for keeping food safe. Number one, number two, understanding how food became safe. Number three, identify key or recognizing risk factors for food. Oh, that word.
All right.
Oh, no, that word. Food.
Prevention.
No, it's a B word.
Born.
Yeah.
Foodborne.
Illness. Number five, understand the importance. Prevention measures to keep
I can't believe it. If we have sugar, it's going to be in the freezer. And when you open it, it's not going to smell good in there because of other things. Right. Okay. Foodborne illness. Everybody say that. Foodborne. That's the main thing that we're trying to prevent in this chapter. You're going to see that so many times. So let's turn to the next page, and let's look at the top blue diagram up there. Challenges to food safety, the cost of foodborne illness. Okay, it's exactly what all three of you all said is the key factor: time. Okay, being a food service manager isn't easy. You have responsibilities to your operation, to your staff, and to your customers. The best way to meet those responsibilities is to keep the food you serve. No problem, my good man. To start, you must learn what foodborne illnesses are and the challenges you will face in preventing them. You simply can't afford not to. The cost of foodborne illness outbreaks can be devastating. Okay. Have any of you all ever been sick after going to a restaurant?
They go to the hospital.
Ooh,
It was from a allergic reaction, but yeah.
allergic reaction. What about you, Mike?
Food poisoning for it.
Foodborne illness poisoning.
Yeah, that's what happened to my daughters.
Where'd you get yours at, Mike?
It was when I was in California.
What you
Which
eat?
restaurant?
Who was it?
I think it was some type of, it was like in a roll.
An egg roll?
I think it was,
The stuff that was in it.
yeah, it
The
was like
rice and
fried.
Uh-huh.
The egg roll.
And what did your brother? Where did your brother eat?
I don't know. I didn't go with them. That was a good thing.
Okay.
It
And
was. I had at IHOP. I had the pecan syrup, and I didn't know I was allergic to nuts and stuff. And I poured it on there. Then I had an allergic reaction too.
okay, so those are a couple of different scenarios. Okay, yours is more of an allergic reaction. I don't know exactly what yours was, but yours sounds like it was a true foodborne illness. And you said it was at what restaurant?
Pandas.
Panda Express.
Yeah.
Panda Express. Okay, so a fast food place. Have any of you all worked at a fast food place yet? Chef Cornish used to work at one. McDonald's, Fairlane Mall. They still got McDonald's at Fairlane?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, I know the last time I was out there, they had closed it down.
Wait, no, they don't.
Yeah, okay. You know, they opened up a new one or whatnot. But after so many minutes, the food had to be thrown away, and we didn't understand it. We were all of us were as kids. We were like, we could be eating those Big Macs. And then at the end of the day, guess what we would do? Just before we would close them, we'd fill up all, you know how they got all the slides and so forth. You know, it used to be one for Big Mac, one for a quarter pounder, one for the cheeseburger, one for the hamburger, fillet of fish. So what we would do is just a half hour before it was time to close, we'd cook up everything and then fill up all of the bins. And then we knew the last half hour wasn't nobody coming to get all of the food. So then we'd have to take it home. So then the manager got wind that that's what we was doing. And so like one day before it was time to close, and we were like, okay, we're gonna load them all up. We had Big Mac quarter pounder. I was like, hey, make me a double quarter pounder with extra cheese. And you know, we had them all wrapped up special, how we was gonna have them. We just sitting there waiting on the clock. Ain't nobody coming. Ain't nobody coming. Manager came, was like, all this has been under the heat light for too long, and threw it all away. We were like, but she was right to do it, because what we were doing was putting our own bodies in jeopardy, trying to get free food at the end of the day. And then we take it home, put it in the refrigerator, bring it back out, try to warm it up. All of this is what you all have to learn.
But if it was under the heat, what was the problem? If it was wrapped up too.
That's what you're going to learn. That's what this entire chapter is about.
So it's like saying leftovers is bad.
To an extent.
Like, so you put it in the refrigerator, like food you didn't cook, you didn't eat, it's not good to eat it.
Exactly. So what you guys are going to learn is that everything you all are eating has bacteria on it. Everything. It's just that it's so minute that it doesn't hurt your body.
What about drink?
Everything you drink has some bacteria on or in it. It's just that it's at such a small level, it doesn't affect your body. And so what happens is your body, hello, good morning. Huh? You got me a note? Yay! Hey, all of our energies are up in here. You're trying to bring it down. Don't do that. You sick? Was it a foodborne illness? That's what we were just talking about, wasn't it? So, with all of the bacteria, everything has a little bacteria in it. Some of it is just not strong enough to take us down. And so what you're asking is, will leftovers take you down? So, what you're going to learn through this chapter, and they're going to learn it in a much, we're going to show you a couple of videos, but I wanted you guys to envision this. Let's take this candy bar here, and let's pretend it's let's pretend it's a burger from McDonald's, okay? So it had bacteria on it, right? It came out the refrigerator, it has a little bit on it, okay? You with me? Mm-hmm. So we're gonna apply it to heat to get it over 180, because over 180, all bacteria dies, okay? So we put it on the grill, killing all that bacteria, we're cooking the meat, we turn it from pink to brown, okay? Boom, boom. It's off of the meat. It's off of the grill now, okay? 100, it got up to like 325 maybe, to cook your, to cook your burger, whatever you had it at, but it was above 180. I don't know how you like your burger. But now it comes down and it's off of the heat, and it's at room temperature. What's this room temperature at?
Right now?
Yeah, I mean approximate. It's not 50 and it's not 80. It's somewhere right up in there, isn't it? Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's somewhere right around there. So what's happening to bacteria that's on this food, on this burger?
What's fake on it?
Yeah, what? You're alive now. What are you doing?
Eating.
Oh. What do you think the bacteria is doing?
It's eating on the food.
Yeah, and you're eating because you want to grow, right? What do you think the bacteria is eating for?
To grow.
Yeah. So remember I said there's a little bit on there, but it's not enough to get you sick. So now it's at that room temperature, about 60 degrees. Now it might be 59. And certain bacteria grow at different rates. Oh. It's about 50 degrees now. What do you think's happening to that bacteria that was just a little bit down?
It's big now. It's more.
Can you even see it though? It's only been a couple hours. Can't even see it, can you? You didn't see
I got
it?
a question. Like when you cook certain food and you leave it overnight, like in magnets, like you know how magnets get food if you leave it like in a pot or something. But where do they come from?
Okay, we're gonna talk about that another time. Okay. Mm-hmm. So let's talk about the bacteria. And the bacteria is growing. Now remember what did we say? We left it under that light, right? Just to keep it warm. Now imagine if we took it and it's already got bacteria growing on it. We take it home. What's happening all that time that we driving home? It's been underneath that light now for 30 minutes while we were sitting there trying to get it for free. Then we clean up, we put it all in our bags.
You're going to get more bacteria?
More bacteria. Then we take it to the refrigerator when we get home. Put it in the refrigerator all night. Now, what that does is it retards the bacteria from growing. Okay? Anybody know what the word retard means?
It stops.
Slow. Hey, Google, what's the definition of the word retard?
Here's the definition of retard. Delay or hold back in terms of progress, development, or accomplishment.
So is the bacteria able to develop in the refrigerator? It's retarded. It slowed the growth rate because it was at 50 degrees, which was warmer, and now it's in the refrigerator at a slower temperature. And so it doesn't die. It only dies at what temperature? You said it earlier?
250 and 80.
180. Remember, it always dies at what temp?
180.
180. Remember that for the test. So it's at 40. It's still growing. It's just growing slow. So now I pull it out, right? What do I have to do in order to kill all the bacteria on it?
Heated.
Warm up.
To what temp?
More than 180. 180.
180, right? Any of you all ever had a quarter pounder bun? A quarter pounder?
Like a big buzz.
A quarter pounder burger, but the bun warmed up to 180.
Like real soft.
But think about it. Yeah, and it's got to be warmed up for 60 seconds. You imagine putting a hamburger bun in the microwave or in the oven for 1 minute? How's that bread going to taste? Hey,
Isn't this the cutest watermelon you've ever seen?
it looks like a sugar daddy oblong.
It is.
Oh, it's a sugar daddy.
Well, I don't know, but it was with the sugar daddies. They were 99 cents at Black's Farm.
Ah, hey, we doing the petting farm again this year?
Yeah, but I don't know how many I'm taking.
Okay,
But I'll let you know.
okay. Yeah, she took the kids. Yeah,
Not petting farm, it's an ecology program.
they got to pet the animals.
Oh, yeah. It's in already.
Okay.
But I have two in the same week, so I don't know with still, so.
Which weeks were they?
November, the first week of November, the 4th and 6th.
Okay. Yes. Okay, so the bacteria's growth is retarded in the refrigerator, and then we pull it out, and then we try and warm it back up. Is that going to be suitable to eat in order to get it back into that temp?
But does it kill all the bacteria if like you heat it again?
That's what it's supposed to do, yeah. But then old McDonald food, heat it up to that, is it good? So what would you do?
Throw it away.
You're a greedy little kid who's tried to get food for free from your job. What do you think we did with it? Pulled it out the refrigerator? And we eat it. What do you think happens to us?
You see?
Now, does the employer have a employee for that day or in 2 days?
No.
You see why the manager needed to throw the food away? She's helping us to help her. Okay, so let's read challenges to food safety. Who are we on?
Sorry.
Ready?
Wait, from what part? Wait, here.
We
or
didn't read
here?
full illness.
Yeah.
Oh, I'm sorry. Go ahead.
Foodborne illness. Being a food service manager isn't easy. You have responsibilities to your operation, to your staff, and your customers. The best way to meet those responsibilities is to keep the food you serve safe. To start, you must learn that foodborne illness are and the challenges you will face in preventing them. You simply can't afford not to. The cost of a foodborne illness outbreak can be devastating.
Devastating. Yeah. Okay, you ready? Elise?
Challenges to food safety. A foodborne illness is a disease transmitted to people by food. An illness is considered an outbreak when two or more people have the same symptoms after eating the same food. An investigation is conducted by state and local regulatory.
Hey, regular. Okay, let's clap this up, y'all, because you're going to see this a couple more times. Who here is having difficulty with this word? Regulatory. Yeah. That's why I always do the clapping thing. That's what they taught me in Catholic school. I don't know if they taught y'all that in public school. Regulatory. Now I know it's always 4 claps, so whenever I get ready to say the word again, I don't got to clap.
Wait, say the word?
Clap.
No, like wait, no, you say the word. Like
You clap and say it. Who's that? Oh. Hey. Clap and say it.
Regulatory.
Regular.
I can't say it.
Okay, so this is how we do it. This is how we do it with syllable clapping. You have to pronounce on each clap the syllable, and that's what the clap is supposed to do. Is separate it in your head. Reg. Everybody clap and say it.
Reg.
See, don't do it like that. Reg. And everybody follow me, okay? So I'm the head gorilla, y'all baby gorillas. Ready? Reg. Let's try it again. Reg. Glove. Tor. Re. Regulatory. Okay. Regulatory authorities. Okay. Go ahead and finish.
Regulatory authorities. The outbreak is confirmed by a laboratory.
Mm-hmm. Analysis
Each year.
Read that sentence again for me.
The outbreak is confirmed by a laboratory analysis.
There you go. That's my girl.
The outbreak is confirmed by. Oh, I just read that. Each year, millions of people get sick from unsafe food. Food service operations work hard to minimize foodborne illness. As a result of these efforts, foodborne illness have declined in recent years. However, operations still face many challenges to food safety. Time. Pressure to work quickly can make it hard to take the time to follow food safety practices.
Stop. So let's talk about that. That's the first thing that everybody talks about when they say, I didn't do something the proper way of getting it cleaned is because I didn't have the time. How would you like that if the people were making your hot and ready with the extra butter and the cheese on the crust? That's going to be an extra $1, so it's $6.30. And then if you're getting extra stuff, that's going to take a $5 hot and ready to $6. But they were like, okay, cool, I can get that for you. Hey, did you want some cheese? Where you want the cheese from? No, hold on, I can get that for you right now. Hold on. How would you like it if they did that? You would want them to take the proper time, right? That's the same way that they want you to do when you're doing the food back here. Yeah, we might have to run around the table or go over here to wash our hands or go over here to wash our hands or go back here to wash our hands. We might have to heat some water up on the stove for a little bit so that it's the proper temp before we put it into our thing. But isn't that what you would want somebody to do for you? Or you just like, no, it's cool. I don't care how they get. Just give me my slices. That Mike, you want? You sure? That okay. Anyway, go to the next one.
Language and culture. Language and culture. Your staff may speak a different language than you do. This can make it difficult to communicate. Culture.
Whoa. Me llamo Ronald. I need for you to tell me how to clean in Spanish, Miss Hernandez.
Like say in English, how would you say?
Yeah, you see I got a mess. Tell me what to do here. And you cannot use an English word.
Lo tienes que limpiar.
What? I don't know what. Yeah, okay.
Ahora la tienes que limpiar.
Yes, I'm going to do that. I'm going to do that right now. Yeah. You guys see what's happening? There's a language barrier. I don't want to act like I don't know what she's saying. I'm faking it the best I can. What do you think people who have language barriers do at jobs when they know that they have a deficiency already because they don't really speak that well? Do you think they're being paid at the best wage? And if they make a mistake or something and it's something dealing with sanitation, do you think that they want to admit to it? Or they want to tell their boss, what am I supposed to do here? Okay, I know that. What?
Okay?
So think about that when you're out in the field and you see people from different cultures. They may have as a manager, you're speaking to them, you always have to check for clarity. Did you understand what I'm saying? And you don't come back. Do you understand what I'm saying? That's not going to do anything to help anybody. No, I'm sure she was saying something about get the paper towel. I hear what translate it for us.
Lo tienes que limpiar, like you have to clean it.
She's a bossy one, isn't she? You have to clean it. Okay, so go to the next one.
Literacy and education.
Oh, go ahead with that. Let's talk about that in a minute.
Staff often have different levels of education. This makes it more challenging to teach them food safety.
So, who in here knows an adult that didn't graduate from high school? Who knows an adult that's out there in the industry working that didn't graduate from high school? Who knows a person out in the industry working in the culinary arts field that graduated from a culinary arts university? I got straight chocolate too.
Well, yeah.
Okay, so you have different levels of education out there, right? You got some people who just went to school for a year, maybe took an online class. Some people who came from home. You got people who worked overseas. You got people who did internships for the majority of their life. So you got different levels of education. And some people just can't read. Staff, other has differentiated life of school. That might be what they translate. So when you're giving or you're writing instructions, you also want to check for clarity. When you're writing their name up on the schedule or however it is you're communicating, always want to check for clarity. That's why they said being the manager in ServSafe is such a major responsibility because you can't just think about you. You got to put yourself in the shoes of your employees, okay? And what would they do? Okay? All right, let's go to the next one.
Pathogens.
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 Mm-hmm.
Illness causing microorganisms.
Yeah, you got it. Microorganisms.
Microorganisms are more frequently found on types of food that once were considered safe.
We just talked about that one, didn't we?
Mm-hmm.
What was the example that we used about that, Mike?
The burger.
Yeah, the burger. Very good. You guys are rocking. Go ahead, Mike, go ahead and read the next one.
Food that is received from the suppliers that are not practicing food service can cause a foodborne illness outbreak.
Say it again louder.
Food that is received from suppliers that are not practicing food safety can cause a foodborne illness outbreak.
So, somebody tell me what would be a situation where somebody's receiving food from an unauthorized supplier? Anybody got an idea? Anybody got an idea? Hey, Ecolab man, how are you? Good. Excellent, excellent. You coming in to check out the setup?
Oh yeah, is everything okay?
I don't know. Come over and check it out. It's been a year and we haven't used it this year yet. Mr. Woods is only in the PM now. He's on a new retirement ship.
You're kidding. So who does ordering for him?
We don't know as of yet.
Who has the key to the room?
Chef Brown.
Is he around?
He is. Okay. What should I put this service tape in? Fast food. guys got about 15 more minutes before I send you all back to Miss Chaplin.
Where can I find Mr. Brown?
He might be across the hall in Miss Chaplin's room. Good seeing you again. Good seeing you too. And the final one. Wait. We didn't talk about where would you see food from an unauthorized supplier. Somebody, give me an idea.
What that mean?
So a store is.
Oh,
What would they have that would be carried from an unauthorized supplier? I'm gonna give y'all a better place that y'all might think about. Where you get your tray of 50 wings from?
the meat market.
What you call it? The
It's the market.
you buy, we fry. Y'all seen the fish markets where they got the fish out there on the ice, and you go in. I want to get 30 shrimp for $9.99.
They put on the weight thing.
Mm-hmm. All those you buy, we fry places. Unauthorized suppliers. So, who in here got an uncle or dad, or even your mom, that likes to go fishing? Was it?
Me.
Ooh, you like to go fishing, huh? What kind you catch?
Mostly bass, green bass.
Green bass? Okay. A little one right here. You be taking the hook out their mouth themselves, or you give it to somebody else?
I give it to somebody else.
I do it. You want to go take out the hook yourself. It's a really funny thing of how you got to take a fish's hook out of his mouth. And y'all ever did it?
You did it before?
Oh, all the time when I was a Boy Scout. So it's out in the water and you go feel it when it grabs it. So it's all the way up in its lip. But every fish has scales and a dorsal fin. And the dorsal fin on bass are really pointy. So yeah, you can't touch it. So when you get the fish out the water, it's hanging up like this by the hook.
You gotta grab it on the bottom.
That's the problem. You can't grab it by the bottom, because if you grab it by the bottom, then the dorsal fins are going to stick you in the hand. So it's almost like you got to do.
This one has fire too.
You almost got to do it. It's like I showed y'all how to light the stove the other day. Remember how I told y'all how to light the stove with the paper towel? Was that y'all or was that the PM?
That wasn't us.
You sure
must-
about the
You
night?
always get this.
It must have been the PM. It must have been the PM. I got 2 classes. So I showed them how to light the stove. So it's the same way. So if the fish is hanging upside down, that's like this. You take your hand and you got to come over the fish's mouth, but you got to be gentle, because remember the hook's in the fish's mouth. So if you pull it out, you're gonna pull the fish, the hook out the lip. But you got to hold the fish, and you got to hold the fish. And remember, the fish is alive, and the fish is like, "What the heck are you doing to me?" So it's moving. So you got to hold it. You got to be tight, and then once you get it, then you got to pull the hook out of its mouth, and then put it into a bucket. But in order to do that, you got to get your hand over the dorsal fin, and that is really tricky. Now, catfish are even more dangerous,
I hate those things.
because catfish have a poisonous stinger on them in 3 spots behind their side fins, and one on the top of their head. So the one that you talked about, you got to go down.
Yes, baby.
So when you're talking about unauthorized suppliers, she could be one. She go out, catch her a whole bunch of fish, and then go up to the local you buy we fry place and say, "Hey, I got 20 fish here. Give me $2 each for them." Sure, we'll give you $2 each for them. Why? Because they just gave her $40. But they turn around and selling all those fish for about $6 each.
Baby selling those baby stuff like $50.
Yeah. Why do you think the prices be so good in them? But they come from unauthorized suppliers. Now, think about this. Look at her. She came in sick today. Oh, baby. Look, she got a little bit of cold, but you know why she got the cold? She was out fishing last night, trying to get that money so she can get her hair ready for homecoming. And so she was out there last night. This is a good story. She's out there fishing last night, and she's bringing in the fish. Oh, yeah. Let me put that on into the container and give me another one because she looks like she's gonna want gold highlights 27. Mm-hmm. Little 27 blend. No, you're not gonna do no 27.
My hair is never that.
Okay. And she's sneezing on another one, but Mike don't know. Mike just like, I'm ready for that green bass life. You look at me hungry now. You're like green bass, some flaming hot Funyuns. That's gonna be a good meal. And take all them. It's got all that bacteria. And then how you gonna trace that back? We got sick from some fish at the East Side we fry place. I mean, we only get our fish from Kroger. You know, we get ours sent in from Gordon's. But what about those other 40 fish that came from an unauthorized supplier? That's what they're referring to. Okay. All right. High risk customer. Boom. Mm-hmm.
The number of customers at high risk for getting foodborne illness is increasing. An example of this is the growing elderly population.
So those are high risk people. Can you now, just like Mike, you said you got sick from, what was it? Panda Express. How many days did it take for you to recover? 3. You see that? And you were how old?
Probably 10 or 11.
And so that means that your immune system was on the come up. Can you imagine what that would do to a 65-year-old person or a 70-year-old person? Baby that doesn't have a good immune system? And how many of us be like, oh, I'm about to get baby little ice cream. Watch him like it. Oh, she like it. It's being a food service manager is a big responsibility. You see how many people's lives you have in your hand now, at least, right? Okay. And then final, staff turnover. What's staff turnover?
Training new staff, less time for food, secretary.
Talked to Jalen about that last week. Remember I told you, I said, this week, we're going to have a whole bunch of people coming in. And we're going to be trying to keep up. And they're going to be coming in. You think that they're going to have this in-depth lesson like us, how we just went over this? Where do you think they're going to have to get it from? Or YouTube Live! We can have them watch the whole 50 minutes. We got everything on tape. That's right. We do. And we're starting this year with Rodney, who's coming back from last season. That's right. You remember her talking and acting crazy on the books? Back here doing the recipe. She's here again for season 2. Bake Shop. Learn, serve, save. Oh yeah, we got a good video of her just acting crazy on tape and did not even know the camera was going. Oh yeah, we still got that. And we posted it. Yeah.
I was acting crazy. I was thinking.
So did you all see, was that AM that Honesty came back up here this year? So y'all saw how I love my honesty? When they came in, I hugged her and swung her around in the air.
What's that show I was at here?
That must have been here. Yeah.
She cut her hair.
I saw. Oh, give me her stomach. Give her.
Did she really cut her hair?
Like, tell her to cut her hair. All right. Staff turnover. So if I've trained her last year, she knows everything in this room. I could have a much easier year this year without her, but I'm gonna make myself have a more difficult year on paperwork with her. But for y'all, it's gonna be so much easier because she's gonna be able to get y'all up to speed with all the things that we do in here because she already knows how things go. So I don't have to re-educate all of y'all. I just have to update her so that she can teach the rest of y'all. If I don't have her, I gotta start everything from ground one with each one of y'all.
It's gonna take longer for y'all to really start cooking.
So imagine if you got your business like that. Imagine that you've got a McDonald's going like that. And you got your people where they're trained to, they know that they go out and they get the lobby every 30 minutes. And they know exactly how to put the salt and pepper shakers back on there. They know how to put the napkins on there. And then 2 weeks later, now I'm going over to Burger King. And then here comes Elise. How you want the salt and pepper on there? How you want the napkins? What I gotta do? Retrain. Every time I retrain, a little bit gets lost. But when she retrains, more gets added because it gets to see how it was that I originally told her, what she's added to it, and then what can be added from both areas. So you want to keep a nice constant, but you don't want a lot of turnover. Okay? Everybody got it? Okay. That's where we're gonna stop at right there. Okay. And have you all watch the introduction here. And then after this, it should be time for you all to go over to Miss Chaplin for your dining room lesson. What that doing over there? Why you separate yourself?
Okay, well, I don't know where.
It's been a crazy month. I have a job, a couple of new trainees. I might be new in town, but when it comes to food safety, I already know my